Back in 2012, NIHERST signed an agreement with NASA to facilitate a structural educational exchange among students from Trinidad and Tobago with those of NASA's science and engineering workforce. The program showed emphasis on research, group work, and creativity. The idea and the goal was really to enhance the students' understanding of the STEM field, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, as well as develop the individual's research skills, leadership potential, and foster cross-cultural understanding of the workforce that contributes to the specific needs of NASA. I would suggest you visit our website on specific research areas that NASA offers for this internship, as well as our Facebook page for updates on other internships, and our YouTube channel for interviews with Stefan and Jason Renwick, the interns of 2014. Also on our website, you'll notice the criteria for application, which is a requirement by NASA. But NIHERST as well, we screen candidates to see their potential in representing Trinidad on an international level. So we look at how efficient you can partake in group work, as well as how well you can adapt to somewhere like Silicon Valley, as we'll see from Stefan's presentation today. I think we chose well last year. Just to note that for the applications, even the interview, we look for the impact that the applicant can bring to Trinidad from their hands-on experience and knowledge in unique scientific research fields gained by this internship. They can implement new projects in our local institutions, thereby advancing capabilities in our science and technology field based on innovation and environmental sustainability. Now, the 2015 cycle has just closed this week. However, please visit our website for updates on many other internships and probably updates on the research areas for next cycle. Thank you again for coming out. I'll pass on to Dr. Mohan now to say a few words.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks to everyone for coming out at the fairly late notice at UWI for this presentation. The Department of Computing and IT, we are very pleased that the first intern for this program came out of, well, the first two came from UWI, and one in particular, Stefan, came from our department. Just a quick thing about our department. We were formerly maths and computer science for many, many years, and we split from maths in 2010. I think you joined us in 2011, right? So we would have recently split, and we offer two major degrees for the undergraduate level, the BSc IT and the BSc Computer Science. We also have postgraduate programs, masters in computer science and technology, as well as master philosophy and PhD programs. And our programs are, I'm seeing some of the students of our programs here, and sometimes they may be wondering, but I believe our programs are world class. We try to abide with the international specifications for information technology and computer science, which today is the Association for Computer Machinery and the IEEE. They have guidelines, and our programs abide with those guidelines. So we expect someone like Stefan or anyone doing our programs could just go anywhere in the world and continue to do other things in computer science, IT, and so on. So that's what I just wanted to say, and Stefan will probably be telling us today how some of what he learned here he was able to translate, I'm hoping. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, hi, good afternoon everyone. Again, thanks for coming. So this presentation is just a presentation about my internship experience. I gave one similar to it in UX, so those of you here, it'll be similar to it, right? I'll have a next one about the technical presentation where I get in depth with what I actually did. So right now, I will just briefly go through the projects I worked on and my experience, but if you want a more in-depth understanding or knowledge of what I did, well, come to the next one, okay? So, as I said, this one is an internship experience. So, let me So we'll leave that I went there. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So this was an initiative which, as Sean said, with NIHERST and NASA. So I actually found the internship on Facebook, and I messaged people at NIHERST to find out if I could actually apply to this internship, because it was NASA, right? So who doesn't want to go? So I was lucky enough to get called for the interviews. You can ask Sean. That was one of the worst interviews of my life, and I was completely shocked when Dr. Mohan here. I talked to him after the interview also. I didn't think I'd get through, but I surprisingly did, right? And that is where the journey began. So where I stayed was the Ames Research Center, right? And it's quite a large center. It's one of many throughout the United States that NASA has. So this is the general look of it, the aerial view. And at the research center, there are a number of startups. So those of you who know Silicon Valley, that's where I stayed, it's like the home of startups, right? So there are some startups so the startups would be like here's where they call the research park. So general people could come here, and there's two universities, Carnegie Mellon, that's one of the top universities for computer science, and also, well, this is one of their campuses, and Singularity University. I don't really know them, but they're one of the universities that's on campus. And if you look at this whole section here, that's the research center. So that's where the work is actually done. That's where I did my work. And if you see this huge building here, that's the wind tunnel, and I work like somewhere right there. And lastly, here's the airfield. So there's extremely secure, right? So I could not go there. My mentor could not go there. Our division head could not go there, right? That's like a military secure place. And so those of you who want to see aliens or something, there's where you check it out, right? If you can get in. And one thing I like to say about the center, they're very secure. So at no point in time did I ever feel unsafe or anything, because there are a lot of checks. I actually had a badge that said I needed to be escorted for the first 2 months of my internship by a NASA employee, because NASA had to do background checks and, make sure I'm not a terrorist or something like that coming to, steal all the secrets and give it to the Russian government or something. So the center, as I said, there are a lot of things to see at the center. These are just some of the pictures. It kind of ended bad, but we will stick with it. So this was one of the tunnels that I was showing you there. This was a closer view. That's the largest wind tunnel in the world, right? So they do, well, it's NASA, right? So they send rockets, spaceships and things. So they need to test these on some smaller models, right? So for the wind testing, they do this in this building. And you can constantly hear the humming throughout when you're biking near these tunnels, right? And well, that's where I worked close to one of these tunnels. It was actually a pretty nice experience, pretty amazing experience to stand next to one of these, because it's really huge and it's really nice to look at, right? This one here is one of the hangars, I believe. So the hangar is not covered, right? It looks pretty artistic and thing here, but that's not the main reason it looks like that, right? I think it had asbestos or something in the covering, so they had to remove it. But it looks pretty nice. It looks nice right now, right? You wouldn't know that. It just looks some artistic person at NASA decided to put that there. And here is a quarter where they call the big boys building. So that is where all the big shots are, right? All the heads of the heads of the heads work in that. Well, this is one quarter of the building, right? So that's not a full building. But that's where they work they work in the center of the center, right? So a little bit about my experience itself. So this is where Jason and I stayed, right? We shared a bed, right? My one was on this side, the rumple up one, right? So that's my one. And it wasn't anything extravagant, right? As you can see, this here is our AC. Believe it or not, we're in NASA and this is our AC / heater unit, because for a time, for the first couple of months, it was blowing cold air, and then it's turned to hot air, and after that, it turned on the AC / heater again, right? That was the end of that. Also, it's everything you need, right? There's a bathrooms, etc. There's a kitchen upstairs, and there's all the interns work. So where we stay were in the research park that I showed you on, and it's a sort of lodge. It's a lodge, like a dorm, and well, they are visiting scientists that are there, and there are also other interns, right? So we met the interns, and they could have lines, so forth. Well, you know, the Americans didn't know about linemen. You know, you had to say go to a party or something, right? So that's the lodging area. So a little bit about the work. So I worked in intelligent systems division. So this is how the building looked, right? Where I worked was inside a lab, right? So this is it's like a postgraduate lab, as I said, and these are all the computers. I was the only one working, right? Because I was the only intern, and they kind of threw the interns here, right? Because everyone else has offices, right? So this is the lab, just show all the interns there, and I was the only intern, so I worked there. It was a pretty nice system that they had. I wouldn't get into the specifics because some of you might not be majoring in computer science. And here, this picture, I have my mentor, so this is my mentor. His name is Rodney Martin, and this is my co-mentor, David Nielsen. And both of them helped me throughout my internship. So the first working day of the internship, I met my mentor, and he introduced me to my other co-workers, etc. And David was one of them, and David kind of took me under his wing, in a sense, so that he became my co-mentor for so whenever I could not meet Rodney, I would talk to David. And as you can see, I'm referring to Rodney by his first name, right? From the first day, I used to call him, I called him Dr. Martin this, etc., right? And he said no one in NASA really wants to be called Dr. whatever, right? They refer to them on a first name basis, so it's a relaxed environment. You might think, oh, it's NASA, everybody competing against each other, etc. It's not like that. It's more like I wouldn't say a family, but it's like a group of friends. It's very friendly working environment. And my mentor actually told me that I can work whatever hours I want to, right? There was no set time for me to come to work and leave. My mentor actually worked from lunchtime. He came to work lunchtime and left in the night, right? He hated traffic. So if I had a problem at 9 o'clock in the morning, well, I had a suck salt, right? He wasn't going to be there until 12 o'clock. So, as I say, this is just a brief summary of my the work I did. As again, the next couple of weeks I'll talk way more in depth about each of these points. But the first one, I completed a previous intern's work, right? So during the summer, they had an intern that he remained at NASA for the first 2 weeks of my internship, and he did not complete everything. So my mentor just asked me if I would be willing, or if I would want to actually complete it, and I did. And the resulting video we created a video showing the algorithm working. And I showed it to my mentor, he liked it, he showed it to his boss liked it. So we put it up on NASA's website. So you can check it out. Those of you who are not so technical, it might be a bit complicated. So if you want to come, you can come next 2 weeks and kind of understand a bit about the video, right? So the second point might seem a bit confusing to some of you. Applied Ransack algorithm to mentors, MATLAB toolbox, creative developers guide, padding algorithms, right? So that's a bit, that's a mouthful there. So basically what it is, I applied, my mentor is created a MATLAB toolbox. So those of you who don't know, MATLAB is like a programming language, right? And MATLAB is used extensively at NASA. It's one of the major tools that they use, right? And my mentor actually just was developing an open source toolbox with, and he asked me to implement an algorithm in the toolbox. So that's what I did, and the algorithm is basically called Ransack, right? Random something, right? I can't remember right now. And in creating that algorithm, I was able to develop a developer's guide. So this developer's guide is the toolbox will be open source, which means that anyone here, anyone in the world could get access to the actual code. And if someone wants to implement a new feature to the toolbox, they can just follow my developer's guide and create their own algorithm, right? And lastly, okay, this is a mouthful. I wouldn't even want to read this, but you can read it if you want. So basically what I did here is there was another, so I did machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? And NUPIC, which is the N common UPIC, which stands for New Mentors Platform for Intelligent Computing. And that is, New Mentors is the company. And that is an algorithm that they use to kind of do some machine learning in a sense. So we wanted to compare NUBIC's work against what my mentor's toolbox had, and the mentor's toolbox had normal machine learning algorithms. So we wanted to compare that to the results that NUBIC, this new algorithm, was doing, right? The reason we did this was because there was, so my mentor is the head of the sustainability base at NASA, and there were a lot of sensors going off, a lot of alarms in the pumps, and so we wanted to predict when a pump would occur, right? So if you could predict when a pump would occur, so let's say we could predict in a minute an alarm would occur somewhere in this wing of the building, then the maintenance staff could take some action to actually stop that, that alarm from going off, right? So that's basically the work I did. Again, this is just a brief overview. I would really get in depth into this. If you want, you can ask me after class. Well, not after class, after the presentation. I took one too many classes with Dr. Mohan, etc., and Kyle on there. So before I get into this, I just wanted to say the work I did at NASA, I thought I would have been overwhelmed with the work, and I thought, oh, well, I'm going to NASA. How would I manage? I might fail. I do not know if I would even be able to do anything that my mentor wanted me to do. But surprisingly, as Dr. Mohan said, I had a really good solid foundation here. So I did a course called Intelligent Systems. And what I was doing at NASA was machine learning, artificial intelligence. And that really provided me the foundation to build upon. So I knew the basic concepts of what my mentor was doing, and I could build from there. So I learned a lot. As you can see, I did not know what RANSAC was from before. I did not know the first algorithm that I used to help out the summer intern. But I learned all this stuff because I had a solid foundation. So I didn't have to start from level 0. I could have started, from level 50 or 100 or something, right? So just a bit of the activity. So enough of the work, just some of the fun things that happened at NASA. So there was an open day at NASA. So this is when the whole, anyone could buy a ticket and come and visit the campus. So as I said, there was the work section, so no one was allowed to go in the work section unless you're an employee. And so here is one of the supercomputers, well, a section of it, right? So inside of here it has a whole set of processors, and well, these are big electrical cords. It was really cool. The guy was really friendly, and he explained a lot about the supercomputers. It's one of the largest in the world, not the largest. I think the largest is in China. Kyle? China, yeah, I think China has the largest supercomputer. At Ames is like the 5th or something, one of the largest. And it's really cool to see how they work, and they had a little animation video. And here now, this blob looking thing here, this is a heat shield, right? So it's NASA, again. So when astronauts when they need to send something from space, return to Earth, you need to cater for heat, right? That's something most people don't think about. But when you're entering the atmosphere, it creates a lot of heat, right? And in order to stop the aircraft from actually being engulfed in flames, there needs to be some heat shields, right? It looks relatively small here, but this, well, I'm not a picture taker, right? But this is really huge. It's bigger than this whole area here. It's really, really huge. And it was, to me, it was one of the best thing I saw because it was really breathtaking, and it was really cool how they talked about the physics and stuff behind it. I don't really remember it. But they wanted to test this heat shield, they needed something to test it, right? That's what this contraption is here. So it produced heat up to 10,000, I think, degrees Fahrenheit, which is a little over 5,000 degrees Celsius, right? So, and this is not out in the open, right? So all in the back there, it's inside a building. They actually just brought it forward, and it wasn't hot at the moment, but that's what they used to create that extremely hot temperatures. They didn't have any demo there, right? They didn't want that anybody to get hit. And one of my favorite parts is the food, right? We had a lot of lunches together. This was actually a division lunch. That was like in my second week, and we had my mentor told me, well, let's walk to get some food, and I thought we were going to the cafe, but no, there was this whole spread with waiters, etc., coming to give you food. I thought, oh, well, this is an amazing place to work, right? Free food constantly. But no, unfortunately, that was the only huge division lunch that they had. But they had other ones that we went to restaurants, etc. But that was a really cool thing I found, right? And here, where I studied, they had a chili cook-off. That's a kind of big, that was a big thing there. So every department or who wanted to go could have went and cooked chili, right? And everyone, you could sample whatever they had and then choose for the winner, etc. So again, a lot of food, and as you can see, I love food, right? So that was another highlight of my internship experience, right? So my weekly as the first picture I have there, bicycles, right? So in California, they're pretty health conscious, etc. But I could not rent a bike. I mean, I could not rent a car, so I had to bike. And at first, I was extremely unfit to bike, right? Biking half an hour to one place and half an hour to come back was extremely strenuous for me. But after 4 months, biking an hour to go, hour to come back became the norm. Because they were Trinidad now started to implement some bike lanes, right? Around the savannah, I think. And in California, there are bike lanes all over. So I had to bike everywhere everywhere I wanted to go, I had to bike and use Google Maps. Jason and I had a saying in Google We Trust, right? Because many times we did not want to believe where Google Maps was taking us, but it never let us down, right? We had no idea how to go anywhere in California, Silicon Valley, right? So we just dropped there, we had no idea how to go, we didn't have someone to say, oh, well, if you want to go here, do this, do this, do this. But Google Maps had everything down to a T. How long it took to walk, how long it took to bike, if you wanted to use public transport. The only two things we didn't use were the airplane feature and the car, right? Everything else we basically used for Google Maps. So my routine started with, well, during the weekends we would bike to some fun places, do some touristy stuff. Then during the morning I woke up around 7 o'clock and got to work between like 7:30 to 8:30 every morning till about like 4, between 3:30 to 6, 6:30, depending on how long the work took. Then Netflix, as I said. So where I stayed was NASA, right? And Trinidad, we have a habit of watching movies not in the most legal sense, right? Streaming online or this, we don't take these things on, we just, oh, I want to watch Breaking Bad, I want to watch Game of Thrones, just pull it up and watch it, right? But there at NASA, I was in NASA's park, right? So there was NASA Internet, and everyone here heard about Edward Snowden and the NSA spying on everyone or whatever. So I didn't want to get catch up to all, right? So I needed to, if I wanted to make sure and watch my shows, I needed to call my mom and tell her, listen mom, I need Netflix, right? I need a Netflix account. Hook that up, please, right? So I needed that, after work you wanted to relax, watch something. The TV wasn't all that, but everyone likes to watch stuff online. I could do work, then take a break, watch something on Netflix. And then with food, right, there was a Walmart. And well, Walmart had everything we wanted, right? So anything we wanted food, we wanted some cutlery, we wanted to buy a gift. Well, I don't know really a gift, right? No one would like a gift from Walmart too much, right? But if we wanted some gloves, a little hat, something, but Walmart had everything. So, and it wasn't too far, it was just like a 45-minute bike ride, a casual 45-minute bike ride, one way to go, right? And one way to come back. So it wasn't too far. It really wasn't far. By the third month, it wasn't far, it was pretty routine. So the two major holidays I had when I experienced when I went to NASA was Halloween and Thanksgiving. So this is David, if you didn't know, in a dressed up as a Pikachu outfit there, right? I didn't know you could dress up, so I dressed up pretty normal, right? I was normal. And we went to a amusement park for Halloween, right? I'll next on that, but we went to the amusement park and it was pretty fun, right? It might seem so much Halloween themed and they had a lot of nice rides, etc., etc. But Thanksgiving was like, I would say the equivalent to Carnival in Trinidad. So it was, people took a lot of time off, like for that weekend, lots of people didn't come to work, you would leave 3 o'clock and they'd have 1 or 2 cars in the car park and you don't want to know where everyone is, So Halloween, Thanksgiving was one of the bigger holidays, I would say. It's like the equivalent to Carnival, where people take a lot of time off, go to meet their family elsewhere and things. So that's what Thanksgiving was about. When I was lucky enough to have some pumpkin vine family somewhere, and they invited me for Thanksgiving by them, and it was really good. A lot of food. I never had so much food in my life, right? It was amazing. But that picture there wasn't of me eating. That wasn't Thanksgiving. I was eating in some Korean shop. I didn't have a picture of Thanksgiving, so I just shoot that up there to signify, right? There was a lot of food, a lot of food in Thanksgiving. So Silicon Valley, so that's where I stayed, right? So there were tons of tech companies. So those of you in computer science or physics or maths or any kind of techie kind of applied maths subject, this is the place to be. You're sure to get a job there. So these are the huge companies like Yahoo, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Apple, I saw Skype, I saw Dropbox, Twitter, Oracle, the list goes on Amazon, right? But there are tons of startups and tons of companies that, not as big as these companies, but there are startups, just medium-sized companies that, promote development for computer science and promote, compared to China, where they don't take computer science as seriously as they do over there. Here they try to develop the best minds, and they pay a lot more than Trinidad for their salaries, right? And the reason why I had Google in the middle is, as I said, in Google we trust, right? And where I stayed was in Mountain View. And Mountain View had, if you check up on the wiki page, you'll see Google. And the reason why Google is so important to Mountain View is because all these other companies had one or two big buildings, right? Google owned a whole neighborhood, literally a whole neighborhood. Like let's say in Valsine, you're staying there for the whole of Valsine. That's whole thing there, that's what Google owns, right? Each of these other companies own one or two huge buildings. Google owns a whole neighborhood. So Google was like the big boy there. And that's why I put them in the middle, because I wouldn't necessarily run Silicon Valley, but they are a huge factor in the computer science game. Apple may be making a lot of money, but Apple knows what Google is about, right? Everyone knows what Google is about. Whether you like them or not is a different thing, right? There are plus and minuses for working at Google if you want to work, right? It's not the greatest company in the world, but it's just a huge company with a lot of power. And this here is Stanford, and that's what there's Berkeley. So that was the two big universities that that was there in Silicon Valley. So a lot of graduates worked at these companies. And again, if you want to go there, it's pluses and minuses, advantages, disadvantages. You can just as well work in studying UB and get into one of these companies. I know the UX had a guy from Google who came from the faculty of computer science, had a talk, and he's employed at Google, right? So I just put those universities there because they are a big part of Silicon Valley, right? Just like other companies, well, Gold's now, right? So the first 2 months, I did not visit San Francisco at all, right? And everyone always asked me, every single person I met who knew I was visiting, the first thing they asked is, did you go to San Francisco? I would say no. The next person, did you go to San Francisco? No. Then before they asked anything, I was like, how is your trip going? Did you go to San Francisco, right? That's the first thing they always asked us. So eventually I went, and I still don't know what is the huge, big thing about San Francisco. It's good, don't get me wrong, right? But I think the people there, they call San Francisco the city, right? Even though Mountain View is a city, Palo Alto is a city, etc., right? They refer to San Francisco as the city. I guess Mr. Weeks could probably explain why they refer to it as the city.
Because I don't really consider San Francisco a city myself because I'm from New York. That fails by comparison.
A little east side, west side, more.
But I would say that they call it a city because it was for a long time the only city. Okay. And it's only very recently that Northern California has developed these other cities around it.
So there you go. So that's why they call it the city. So it really was an amazing experience, don't get me wrong. So there were cable cars, obviously, Golden Gate Bridge, Fisherman's Wharf. The top right is Union Square. Yeah. And Union Square, they had tons and tons of shopping. So it was Christmas time, so my girlfriend and my mother made sure I bought a lot of stuff there, right? In Union Square. And ending. The reason why I put ending there is because this is not the end of the NASA NIHERST internship. There will be, as Sean said, there was some interviews yesterday, and the new batch will soon be, will be sent to NASA, and NASA will make a decision. So soon enough. So this is not the end, but this was an amazing experience for me. So coming to the end, I had to give a poster presentation. That's what this is here. That's another intern, and I also made a presentation to the faculty members from the UC Berkeley, one of the universities I showed, and Carnegie Mellon University. It was really nerve-wracking to talk in front of some faculty from the top computer science in the world, but it also showed that people from Trinidad University could actually make an impact, and they had some useful questions for me, some comments and so forth, and it was good to go back and forth talking about what I did and the project I worked on. Also, the experience, it made me a better person, right? It made you want to network more, as in talk to a lot of people, you know, give you a lot more confidence, because my mentor didn't trick me as a child, right? He told me to do this stuff, and if I didn't get it done, I don't know what would happen if I didn't get it done, right? I got it done. But it's just the pressure to, you know, make sure, to take responsibility, basically. So I was in a room with Jason alone, so both of us, we never really lived, and it gave me a lot of responsibility, and I also experienced a lot of cultures. So it was not only Americans, there were a lot of foreigners there. So I met people from Italy, from Mexico, a lot of people from India and Asia. So there are a lot of Indians and Asians in Silicon Valley, and it really was a melting pot of races, and it really was a really nice place to be. I did not feel any racism or any negative outlook towards me. I just treated like a normal person, you know. Everyone there in Silicon Valley is just like another normal person. And to me, I would recommend this internship to anyone. So those of you who didn't apply this year or who are thinking to apply, you should really apply, because you gain a lot of experience and you get to meet a lot of nice people. And some people, you never know where life will take you. And these people that you meet could, you know, you can meet them up someday later on in life. You know, you might need a job, they might need someone, and you never know what would happen. So I would recommend this internship to everyone. And I'd just like to say thanks to the people at the embassy, NIHERST, and UE for actually making this possible and allowing me to actually go to NASA and have this internship experience. Thank you, everyone.
So everyone, we have a Q&A session with Stefan. If you all have any questions about his presentation.
When you say that intelligent systems was the only course that helped you, were there any other courses that helped you, you know, for the foundation?
Well, definitely. Before I even got into intelligent systems course, I had to take some year one courses and so forth, right? So intelligent systems was just the main course that I had. So there were other courses such like operating systems. So I needed to, the laptops I use all were Linux, right? So operating systems, we had a very good lecturer. So I pulled some resources from operating systems. Just programming in general, so programming data structures. I needed some data structures to build some of the algorithms. Not too much analysis of algorithms. So not too much of that. There wasn't any serious, you know, let's not get into it, but not too much algorithms like that. But yeah, it wasn't just intelligent systems. It was bits and pieces. The intelligent systems was the main one, but it was bits and pieces from other courses that I used.
It takes 45 minutes to go to the grocery and back, right? Yeah. How do you manage on a bicycle to carry groceries back?
So it was Jason and I, right? So each of us had our backpacks. So I have my backpack here that I use, right? One of us carry backpacks, and Jason's mom actually gave him a kind of bag, it's not a handbag, like, as you know, the bags to like markets or stuff like that, something like that, right? So we use those street stuff, and we carry that. So that's how we took everything back home. So we used to ride things in our backs, and it was fun. It was interesting, right? So that's how we carry stuff back, riding 45 minutes. As I said, the first couple of weeks it was really hard, but after a while they kind of just like anything you adapt.
You mentioned the environment, the informality of the environment, and it was a refreshing change for you. Do you think that the informality affected your performance? Do you think that it is something that is useful, or do you see a need to have more rigid structures?
I think the informality was actually a great thing. As I was speaking to Mr. Leaks, so my mentor wanted me to implement Ransack, the algorithm I showed before, and he just told me, could you implement it? I said yes, I would implement it. I think I could. I did. I actually talked to one of the top Ransack research people. He was at NASA, and when I completed it, my mentor, he sat me down and was like, okay, well, since you implemented it, teach me it. So he had a whole session with me just talking about it, explaining it to him. So it wasn't the informality, it was good in that I could provide ideas to Rodney, and Rodney could push back. So there wasn't any, I didn't feel afraid to confront Rodney and say, well, Rodney, I don't think this is working. Many times I actually told Rodney, well, this isn't working, I don't think this is correct, or something. So it was a good back and forth. I didn't feel like, understand this talking to superior, I had respect for Rodney, but I didn't cross any boundaries. But at the same time, it allowed a good communication between mentor and mentee, I guess. So yeah, the lack of I don't say formalities, but the informalities was, it really was refreshing, and really was good. I think, you know, we can implement some of that here.
Hi. Yeah. You mentioned that you were interacting with Jason, and both of you all did like kind of computer science kind of.
Well, Jason didn't really do, Jason is an electrical, he studied electrical engineering.
But like, did you interact, because I saw like they had a category called advanced life support. Did you interact with anybody?
No, I don't know anyone who did advanced life support. So the main people who were there were Jason and I. So I did intelligence systems, Jason did prognostics, and the other people did aerospace engineer, and one other intern worked on some biology subject. So I don't know anyone who worked in life sciences.
So then like a large group of
no, in fall there were like 40 interns max, and then some left, some Jordanians, they stayed for a while and they left. So I think something, but for summer, I heard they were like 800 interns, right? So if you get through to summer, it wouldn't be just 40 people. They would have people from life sciences, or life cycle, sorry.
From your NASA experience, do you think that it's possible that one day the Caribbean can be involved in the space industry?
Well, you can talk to this woman in front here. She's actually trying to implement something like that, right? To get the Caribbean involved. So I would definitely say yes. If you would like to, more on how to do these things, I suggest you talk to her. She's, you want to introduce herself? No. Okay, well, she's very big in the game, right? Let's just say that, right? So she's trying to implement something like NASA in the Caribbean, am I correct? Something like NASA. It would not be, it's not something that will happen immediately, but it's something we have to, it's in the long term. So it's in the works right now. So eventually, hopefully, we will get to having something like NASA in the Caribbean.
What did you learn there that you think Trinidad could implement down here?
The main thing I learned there was, so as I said, my mentor was the head of the sustainability base, and what this is, it was an initiative that NASA, well, the Ames campus took to create a completely green building, right? And it succeeded, more or less. And that kind of thinking, so what I worked on was trying to better the building by using machine learning, artificial intelligence. And I think this sustainability base is something that Trinidad could actually look into, because we are a country rich in oil. So we don't really think too much about, you know, energy in any sense, because we say, oh, we already have oil, we don't really think about it. But in America, other companies, other countries that don't have the luxury of so much oil, they have to look into other sustainability, other sustainable ways of getting energy. And I don't think something that Trinidad could really should take up, rather than just studying about oil, you know, look into, branch into other sectors, sustainable energy sectors. That's it.
All right. I just wanted to mention that this internship program is the only program offered in the Caribbean, right? Closest one is Mexico that does this program, all right? Stefan, this is Stefan's first interview of 2. As he said, he would go into a more technical detail on his research. We haven't set that date yet, but it should be before the end of the month. Please visit our website for updates on that. And thank you for coming.